News.
Mr. Speaker, we will take no lessons from the Conservatives. We will take no lessons from these guys, Mr. Speaker.
In this episode of the House of Combat, we have Melissa Landsman trying to get a straight answer out of Philip Champagne. Welcome to the Canadian Shield. My name is Sterling. Let's just get right into it.
For Thornhill.
Spiraling out of control, and they'll do anything to keep Canadians from noticing. Parliament's budget watchdog has found that the Prime Minister is using fiscal tricks just to hide how much money is being wasted here in Ottawa. He says there's a less than 10% chance that the Liberals will meet their own spending targets, the same targets they've blown through again and again. The warnings keep piling up. The waste keeps growing, and the government's commitment to responsibility keeps shrinking. So the real question is, what are the odds that the watchdog gets fired next, just for telling Canadians the truth?
Yeah!
I'll tell you straight away that I don't believe that the federal government should have the permission or any of that to fire this individual who's a watchdog. Like, the people that have scrutiny over you should not be subject to your whims. They should be outside of it and not subject to being removed. Perhaps we could put it to a vote for the Canadian population. Perhaps we could put it to term limits. Either way, it has to be removed from the government that is in power, who's being scrutinized by the people that they can now fire and replace with somebody who's not going to tell the truth to Canadians, because Canadians are the ones that need the watchdog. The rest of them, they're always going to do whatever they're going to do in the government. But Canada, the Canadian people, me, you, and the regular individual that's, in the world around you, we need the watchdog to make sure that people like Carney don't get creative with the accounting.
L'honorable ministre des Finances.
Mr. Speaker, it's only Monday, and we already have good news, Mr. Speaker. Inflation is down. Employment is up, Mr. Speaker. And we presented to Canadians a generational investment budget, Mr. Speaker. We're going to invest to build this country. We're going to invest to protect our sovereignty. We're going to empower Canadians. Mr. Speaker, we're going to grow this economy the second fastest rate in the G7, Mr. Speaker, because we believe in Canada, and Canadians are going to see whether the Conservative believe in Canada, because today we'll have a vote, and let's hope that we're going to walk together. Mr. Speaker, Canada needs to grow.
The honourable member.
Well, I'm not surprised that he ran out of time. That's a lie that he said at the beginning. The only thing that he said in there that was any honesty is that he will never be able to catch the American economy. So he said the second fastest. Now he's switching it from the fastest. At least they have come to the realization that Trump's actions are making the American economy skyrocket, and Canada is just dropping lower and lower with every passing minute. And I watched the inflation, so I know that report came out today, and inflation is not down. It is up. It's up across the board. And the only thing that might have artificially kept it a little bit lower, though it still went up. Okay, don't misunderstand me. It still went up. But because the gas prices came down and they keep continuing to add gas to the basket that they use, the 10 items that they use to judge inflation. But it's up in food, it's up in rent, it's up. It's in my next report. This is the House of Combat. Let's get back to it.
For Thornhill.
Can't afford groceries, they can't afford rent, they can't afford their mortgages, and they want us to support the reason why. I think most Canadians would say no thanks. But back to the parliamentary budget officer. Remember, this is the same watchdog who called Liberal spending stupefying, shocking, and unsustainable. Now he says the government has abandoned any restraint at all. So no wonder the Prime Minister wants him gone. How many more watchdogs, how many more damning reports will it take for this government to stop maxing out the credit card with their reckless spending?
L'honorable ministre.
I'll tell you, I agree with her that the watchdog should be independent, and I don't agree with them having the right to be reckless in their spending, because it's not their money they are spending, right? If we were taking 50% of their pay, they would lose their minds. They would pass laws and say, I can't do the job, but they have no problem at all taking 50% of your pay. So let's be realistic with ourselves, guys. Let's set aside all of the partisanship and just realize that nobody does good if we're all flat broke, and the Liberal government is trying to make us all flat broke.
Mr. Speaker, I know it's a big budget. I'm afraid they may have missed a chapter, Mr. Speaker. Let me help them. Someone called Kevin Page, Mr. Speaker, we serve our nation, and I quote, "We need to focus on economic growth. We need capital investment to boost innovation, improve our infrastructure, and diversify our trade. We live in dangerous times, and we must meet our NATO spending target. I believe Parliament should approve the budget plan, Mr. Speaker." That's the word of a former parliamentary budget officer, Mr. Speaker. We believe in Canada, and let's hope and let's see if the Conservative will support Canadians.
Oh, you had to go back to other parliamentary budgetary officers, write them a big check, and then get them to say something. And then you had to have one of your interns print it out on very expensive Canadian paper that you'll immediately throw into the recycling bin to try to convince Canadians that Mark Carney isn't adjusting the books. There is absolutely nothing that you just said there, Mr. Champagne, that changes the question that Melissa Lantsman asked. She asked, how come it is the Liberal government wants to fire the Parliament Budgetary Office for talking about the truth about how he sees the numbers? And that's a very good question. How come it is that when instead of using the Parliamentary Budget Officer as he was designed to have, fiscal guardrails and to keep Canadians abreast of the changes in the out of control spending of any government, whether it be the NDP, Conservatives, the Bloc, it doesn't matter. How come it is when confronted with this, you decide that it's better to replace him and then try to convince me that somehow it's okay because 2 or 3 budgetary officers ago we talked about NATO? That doesn't change grocery prices, that doesn't change rent prices, and it does not in any way, shape, or form change the out-of-control spending that you think. And I am sick and tired of hearing the Liberals try to tell me that it's all about doing it for the Canadian people. How many times has this man himself stood up and said, I will hear nothing from these Conservatives? I mean, he's got a whole TikTok channel that does nothing but that. So he's not he's not a team player.
Mr. Speaker, we will take no lessons from the Conservatives.
And the thing of it is that I don't agree. I don't have to be on your team. I disagree with what you're doing with the money. And in that way, I stand with Canadians. Because I, unlike you, Philip Champagne, understand what it means when you're flat broke and you got to stretch your money and you're worried about the bills and all the rest of the things that most of the country is worried about. And by most, I mean, over 80%. So I think that you should answer the question. How come it is you want to fire the guy for telling Canadians that your budget is out of control? Of course, he's not going to answer that question because Philip Champagne never answers a straight question. And this guy has been in charge of 4 or 5 separate departments in his time in office. And all he can really do is get theatrical like a 3-ring circus. And I think we all can see why Canada is in the state that it is, because the ruling government party of the last 10, 11 years operates like a circus. That's just my opinion. You can let me know what your opinion is down in the comments. I'm going to wrap here. Thank you for listening. I'll talk to you next time.